previously on Talk That Talk.
Before anybody says anything or comments on what you said, one of the things that I was just thinking about as you were talking was we got to define who's the biggest voice, right? Because you said the bandhead community, and Mario has said this on the show before. The bandhead community used to be us. We're not the bandhead community anymore.
Right.
The bandhead community is that dude who works at Burger King that played fourth trombone in the grits,
Or didn't
probably,
march.
or
Or
didn't
didn't
march,
march in a
right?
band at
And
all.
but they're able to dictate what's good and what's not. You know what I'm saying? So we have to also look at it from that perspective as well. Who is the one who's dictating, what's good, what's not, what is a quality sound versus, what is not. So yeah.
Yeah, just to chime in on that. Back in the day, uh, each band could be identified by their sound, what they sound like. And I mean, that's something that we worked on at Paul Adams and I worked on, and Dr. Zach, all of us worked on. When you hear the Norfolk State Band, we want people to know that this is Norfolk State. You can turn your back. This is Norfolk State. That was our attitude, and that's what we worked, to do. But back in the day, FAMU was it. Now remember this, guys. Most of those guys, Dr. Foster and Strong at Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Carson at North Carolina, with North Carolina A&T. Those guys, most of them went to the Army. When they came back, they had to go get their master's degrees. Well, our HBCUs programs were not giving master's degrees back in the day. Nobody was in the HBCU program. So when they came back, they had their GI fellowships. Where they go to school. They went to school up north. They went up to Michigan, Michigan State, and Northwestern, and all those uniforms, all of those places. Once they got there, they were exposed to a whole nother world and a style. And each one of those guys, Thomas Lyle at Alabama A&M, they adopted styles and brought them back to their schools. And each one of the bands had a unique style. When you heard Southern was more a copy of what Michigan sound like. Dr. Foster was kind of like that. He went off on his own and did his thing, but still with that concert sound. I was blown away the first time I heard them as a freshman. And then you look at Jackson State. Jackson State was a band that just swing. Man, they played that band. Was a trumpet player and a great trumpet player and big band. And when that band hit the field, man, they'd be popping. And I remember hearing that. And then you go to Tennessee State, and Tennessee State, Greer, he went up north somewhere and got his degree. Came back, his thing was more concert oriented, kind of aristocratic, if you will, and probably where the name came from. But they was standing still and play Toccata and Fugue, man, and blow, drunk's mind in the stand because of what the timbre and and the sound of the band. And so each one of those bands had their own style. But I can tell you, now what I hear is 80% of the bands, with including there are a couple of small bands that are really good. You can't overlook a band like Alabama A&M. They're doing some real teaching over at Alabama A&M. They don't have a big band, but that band plays with good quality. And Rick mentioned, Prairie View, and I'm a little biased when it comes to that Prairie View, and then you got FAMU. They are unique, but there are not a lot of bands. Most of them you can do what? Sound the same way, and that is what? Loud. With no quality. And we being fair now. The marching band in HBCU schools, are very important. And I don't think we need to change that function. It's a different, people gonna go get hot dogs on you if you don't play the kind of music that we play. There's nothing wrong with it, but you still have to do it with good quality and good tone quality and taste and phrasing and balance and arrangements. You know, not 5 octaves gone and a bass line, and then everybody else holding whole notes and half notes, the whole note, half note syndrome, and then blastissimo. You know, that's the bottom line. You know, so we got it. What you guys are doing here now, it's great. You got to talk about it. So you got to do something about it when you get in a position to do something about it, because you're gonna get the pressure, you know, from your fans, you know, which they don't know. You have to train them. You know, the fans down at FAM, when FAM stood still and played a ballad, man, you know, Tennessee stood still and played a ballad. They appreciated it because what? They trained the audience. They train the audience to learn and appreciate. You know, they may not know, you know, why the band is sounding like. Some of them didn't even know what a double French horn was back in the day. and FAM would have that bell up on them horns in a certain time, and man, and then rock the boat, you know, with sound and all the different colors and timbres of instruments. You could hear all of that. So, you know, but you can't teach it if you haven't been exposed to it.